All right, let's spark up a brand new deep dive. Today, we are heading over to Blaze Cigar Lounge and Bar in Newport, Kentucky. We've got reviews, we've got menus, we've got uh, snippets from the web. We're going to piece it all together to really, get a feel for this place.
Yeah, and it seems like right off the bat, people are really loving this place. I'm looking at like an average of 4.6 stars.
Yeah.
And that's consistent.
Yeah.
We're talking hundreds of reviews. So clearly something's clicking here.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a really good sign. So it's popular, but what is it exactly that people are loving? I'm seeing a lot of words like relaxing and comfy leather seats. Is it like an upscale kind of lounge, would you say?
Yeah, you could say upscale, but maybe more like refined comfort. I
Yeah.
think that's a good way to put it. They're definitely putting effort into creating a certain atmosphere. It's not just like a casual bar.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because they do mention TVs, but they don't seem to be the main focus. The reviews really emphasize the conversation, the music, and obviously that whole shared cigar experience.
Oh, so it's more about like disconnecting a bit, getting away from the screens and actually talking to people, which is rare these days.
Right, exactly. And it's not just about any cigars either. One reviewer actually mentioned the humidor specifically. They said it was, and I quote, small but carefully curated. So they're not just like stocking every brand under the sun. They're picking out specific ones that are maybe harder to find elsewhere.
Oh, that's a really good strategy because honestly, sometimes I get overwhelmed with too much choice. If they're curating it down to like the best of the best, that takes the pressure off, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of the best, their bourbon selection is getting a lot of praise. People are name dropping 1792 bottled in bond, Woodford Reserve, definitely some top shelf stuff there.
Oh, yeah, the good stuff. And you know what else I noticed? They keep mentioning bourbon cigar pairings in the reviews. So it seems like they're not just offering a bunch of options, they're actually guiding people towards certain combinations. Like maybe there's a signature Blaze pairing they're known for.
That's a great point. And it makes sense, right? I mean, if you've got that expertise on hand, why not use it to enhance the whole experience for the customer?
Exactly. And it sounds like that expertise goes beyond just the drinks. A lot of their reviews mention great service and how knowledgeable the staff is. It seems like they really invest in making sure people have a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going the extra mile. And they even have a late night kitchen that's getting rave reviews. One person specifically called out the Cuban sandwich and how the chef puts so much care into the presentation. So it's not just about drinks and cigars. They're offering a whole culinary experience.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive. So it's not all perfect, though. There was one just tiny little comment about being charged for soda refills. So maybe something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, even in a seemingly perfect picture, there are always going to be little quirks, right? It's impossible to please everyone all the time.
That's true. But okay, so we've got this classy, comfortable atmosphere, a curated selection of cigars and bourbons, great service, even late night food options. But I feel like there's more to this story, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Remember that review that called Blaze a haven for cigar fans and great music alike? There's definitely more to unpack there. Yeah. That music scene is still kind of a mystery, isn't it?
All right, so we have our first official mystery. We're going to have to dig a little deeper and see if we can figure out what kind of tunes they're spinning over at Blaze.
And I think, like, those clues might be right in front of us. Remember when that one review said Blaze was like a haven for cigar fans and great music alike? I think that's a really important detail because it implies they're kind of connected, right? Like they're going for this fusion of cigars and music.
Yeah, you're totally right. So it's not just like background music, right? They're choosing music that complements the whole like cigar bourbon experience. But what kind of music are we even talking about here? Is it jazz, blues, something more modern maybe?
Right, that's the big question. And the reviews, frustratingly, they don't specify genres. So it makes it even more intriguing, doesn't it? Like, imagine you walk into Blaze, you have no idea what to expect musically. It's like a musical, like, lucky dip.
Oh, I love that. Like a musical grab bag. Yeah. That's so cool. It adds that element of surprise to the whole thing. You're not just going for the cigars and the bourbon. You're going for the possibility of discovering something new musically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that sense of discovery, I think it's amplified by Blaze's location, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget, it's in Newport, Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. And that whole area has got such a vibrant music scene, a really rich history.
Oh, you're right. I can almost picture it now. Those old school jazz clubs, all smoky, packed with people. Maybe Blaze is tapping into that, like a modern take on a classic vibe.
Totally. It's definitely a possibility. And you know what else is interesting? Blaze is described as one of the only places in the city where you can actually smoke a cigar indoors.
Yeah.
So that in itself, it creates kind of a unique niche, right? It's going to attract a certain kind of crowd, people who appreciate that specific atmosphere.
So we're talking about a place that combines a love of cigars, a taste for really good bourbon, and a passion for music. And all of that wrapped up in a setting that kind of feels like stepping back in time, but like a sophisticated modern version of that.
Yeah, I like that. And they even let you bring in outside food. That says something too, you know?
Right.
They're not worried about you just coming for the food. They're confident that their core experience, the cigars, the bourbon, the music, it's enough to keep people coming back.
All right, you've officially got me hooked. We have got a mystery to solve here, a whole atmosphere to soak in. But now I'm thinking, who are the people who actually go to a place like this?
Yeah. Good question. Are we talking like serious cigar aficionados, people who know their stuff, sharing stories, comparing tasting notes, or is it more of a mix? Like you get the newbies, the curious ones, alongside the experienced connoisseurs, and they're all connected by that shared appreciation for like the finer things in life, you know?
I think that's what I love about these kinds of places. Like they bring together people from all different walks of life, but they find common ground in the shared interest. It's like a little secret society, but without the secret handshake.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Like a community built on passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet that music, whatever it is, plays a huge role in shaping that community feeling, bringing people together.
Okay, close your eyes for a second. Imagine this. You walk into Blaze, it's a Friday night. You smell that rich tobacco in the air, the lights are low, you hear live music. What do you see?
I see groups of people clustered around these like dimly lit tables, deep in conversation, probably swapping stories and whatnot. And I see couples tucked away in those cozy little corners, enjoying the intimacy of the place. And then there are those individuals just kind of lost in their own world, maybe savoring a sip of bourbon, taking in the complexity of the cigar.
I love it. What about the music? What do you hear? What's setting the mood?
Ooh, good question. Well, maybe it's like a really soulful blues band. Their music is just echoing all that rich history of the region, you know? Or perhaps it's a smooth jazz trio creating this really sophisticated, relaxing vibe. Or, and this is my favorite thought, maybe it's something completely unexpected, like something totally genre-bending, something that just defies categories.
I love that. Every scenario paints a different picture, but they all have that same feeling, right? That feeling of escape, of community, of like indulging in the good things in life.
For sure. It reminds you that a place like Blaze, it offers more than just the products, right?
Yeah.
It's an experience, a whole feeling. It's a chance to connect with something bigger than yourself.
It's like stepping into a different world where time moves a little slower and you forget about your worries for a while. And those sounds, the clinking glasses, the murmurs of conversation, the music, they all blend together into this beautiful symphony.
And right at the heart of it all is that mystery, that unanswered question about the music. It's the missing piece, the final clue that makes us want to dive even deeper.
So we've got this amazing picture of Blaze forming, but that one thing, that question mark about the music, it's really bugging.
I know, right? It's like the wild card in all of this. We can try to guess all day, but honestly, the music could really make or break the whole experience. It's that final touch that gives the place its, personality.
Okay, so I'm picturing two scenarios in my head. Option one, they play it safe, like stick to classic jazz or blues to match that old school cigar lounge vibe. Which would be cool, don't get me wrong, but maybe a little predictable. Or, and this is what I'm hoping for, they go for something totally different, something unexpected.
That's when things get really interesting. Like, imagine you walk in and they've got a live band playing, I don't know, contemporary folk music.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a little funk mixed in there. It would be such a cool statement, like a sign that Blaze is more than just a throwback. Right?
Exactly. A place that respects tradition but isn't afraid to experiment, to kind of push the boundaries a little. It would make every visit feel like a new adventure.
And wouldn't that make sense, given everything else we've learned? Think about it. The super curated cigar selection, the way they guide you with the bourbon pairings, the attention to detail in every single thing. A unique music choice would fit right into that whole philosophy.
It all comes back to that curated experience, doesn't it? They're not just randomly throwing things together. Everything is carefully chosen, and that must include the music.
Totally. And at the end of the day, that's what sets Blaze apart from the rest. It's not just a place to smoke and drink. It's a whole destination, a journey for your senses. You can unwind, connect with people, and maybe even discover a new favorite band or genre while you're at it.
Well, I think we've reached the end of the road here. We've laid out all the facts, explored all the possibilities, uncovered the mysteries, at least the ones we could uncover. The rest, my friends, is up to you.
We've given you the map, but the treasure hunt is all yours now. Walk into Blaze Cigar Lounge and Bar, take in that aroma of fine tobacco, let the music wash over you, and see where the night takes you.
Maybe you'll find that classic jazz atmosphere you were expecting. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll stumble upon a musical experience that completely blows you away. Either way, we want to hear all about it. Until next time.